Suddenly...
Oh my fucking word.
Oh, look at the next paragraph.
Oh my god. I'm gonna die. Oh
Okay.
my god, there's another one that starts the same way.
Yep, all the way at the bottom.
Oh.
Suddenly, I began to have a growing feel of dread.
Why are you telling me? Did I fucking ask? Show me, you cunt.
As Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. I felt that Tails was in danger, and something bad was going to happen.
Nobody fucking asked you.
I heard faint static growing louder, as Tails was but inches away from Sonic, and stopped, and stuck his hand out to touch him.
Gate.
That foreboding feeling in my gut was growing more stronger. Fuck you. And I felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic as the static grew louder. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Sonic's eyes open. And they were black with those red glowing dots. Just like that title image, which I couldn't see for only a split second, and then I remembered that I could see.
Hail Satan.
Thought there wasn't a smile.
I mean, I would assume that there was. So, you didn't really need to point out that there wasn't? If there was, you could have just said there was a smile. You don't really need to say there wasn't. Because I didn't fucking ask if it was smiling.
Here we go. When that happened, the screen turned black and the static sound was off.
Alright, well I guess that's enough of that. Take the game disc out, fucking smash it, and never think about it ever again.
Did it have a deep impact sound resonating in there as well? For dramatic effect. It stayed black for about 7 seconds.
Wow.
And then white text appeared, forming a message. I mean...
Because we can't make that assumption on our own. We just thought it was just, word salad. We just thought it was a bunch of fucking letters on screen. Yeah. Alright.
Saying, hello. Do you want to play with me?
Insert "do you want to play with me" cliche here.
At this point, I was creeped out.
Well, you were apparently creeped out several paragraphs ago, but you're still fucking jerking around with this game, so are you really? I don't believe you anymore. I think you're full of shit.
Oh, remember when he said smart gamer? I didn't want to continue with the game. So then don't! I don't know about you, but anytime I find a game that I suddenly lose interest in, groundbreaking revelation, I stop playing it.
Yep.
But my curiosity got the better of me when I was taken to a different level, with the level title now saying, Hide and Seek.
This kid better fucking die.
This time, I was in the Angel Island levels from Sonic 3.
Because I know exactly what that is.
And it looked like everything was on fire.
Hail Satan!
Tails looked as though he was scared out of his wits this time. He actually looked at me and made frantic gestures to me, as if he wanted to get out of the area he was in as fast as possible.
So here's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Stop telling me Tails looked as though, or gestures to me as if, and then fully explain what the character wants. Look, I don't know how expressive some people can be, but no amount of scared face can tell specifically that I want to get out of the area as fast as possible. Whatever face Tails makes cannot convey that specific information. Like, fuck you. You can't do that. You're telling us what the character is thinking without having the character speak. Or being from that character's perspective. Fuck you. You can't do that. Stop it. It's bad writing. It's not good. And stop saying he looked as though he was scared out of his wits. If he's scared out of his wits, describe what he's doing to make him look that way if he looks that way. Don't just fucking tell me. Show me. Show. Don't tell. What is so complicated about this? I swear to fuck.
I was starting to get freaked out by this. Fucking Christ.
First of all, starting? Also, you were freaked out several paragraphs ago. Stop playing the fucking game. I have no sympathy for you. I am rooting for your death at this point.
Oh look, the ellipses return.
Garbage.
I mean, Tails was actually breaking the fourth wall.
You don't know that.
Trying to tell me to get him out of there.
You don't know that either.
So I pressed down on the arrow key as hard as I could. And made him run as fast as he could. Oh my god. A pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow at the Ark as Robotnik from SA2, Sonic Adventures 2, was playing, as I made Tails trek through the desolate forest, trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from.
Can you
First
really
of all,
describe a soundbite as pixelated?
no, because sound doesn't have pixels.
Exactly.
If you're describing sound, it is bits. 8-bit sound. 16-bit sound. Smart gamer. Fuck you. Here we go again. Suddenly, I heard that creepy laugh again. Ellipses. That awful Kefka laugh. More
What's
ellipses.
that sound like?
I mean, I'll play a soundbite from it so that the audience will
I'm
know,
just making a
but...
point. The fuck's a Kefka?
Yeah, that doesn't help us either. Right after 10 seconds have passed. Had!
What is this magical stopwatch that just, like, alerts him whenever, like, a thing ends?
You know, I want that watch now, because that will really help me out.
Yeah.
Totally won't get annoying and make me smash it against a wall. As I helped Tails run through the forest. Let me read that again, because I just confused myself. Right after 10 seconds have passed, should be had, as I helped Tails run through the forest. And then I started seeing flashes of Sonic popping everywhere on the screen.
You can't do that. You can't do that. That's just wrong. As I helped Tails run through the forest, and then... What happened as you were helping Tails run through the forest? You completely skipped something happening. And then jumped to the thing that's happening after that. Like, we have a concurrent thing happening, and then the thing after it. We're missing a whole entire other thing happening.
I think what he's trying to say is that the laugh that he was hearing happened as he was helping Tails get through the forest, but the guy is a fucking idiot, and I can't make that assumption.
Even then, it still structurally doesn't make sense.
Nope.
Because It's structurally the Kefka laugh is being kept separate. This is garbage. I want to die.
Again, with those black and red eyes. Again, with the black and red.
I believe Shadow wants to have a word with you.
The music changed to that suspenseful. Don't tell me what music is. Fuck you. Drowning jingle as I see Sonic behind Tails slowly gaining up on him, flying.
First of all, what's suspenseful drowning jingle? I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Also, flying? Who's flying? Is Sonic flying? Since when can Sonic fly?
Since never.
This is all very inconsistent.
Should get rid of that semicolon.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sonic wasn't running. Yeah, should totally get rid of that semicolon because it doesn't need to be there.
Yep, that should just be a period.
He was actually flying. Get rid of those capitals.
Fucking terrifying.
The flying pose, his sprite... We get it, he's flying, okay? We get it. His sprite was making looked very similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose in Sonic CD.
The who? The what?
Except it was just Sonic. And he had the black and red eyes again. Did they disappear? Stop telling us that he has black and red eyes. We get it. He's a demon now. We understand. And I love this. Only, next paragraph, this time, he had the most deranged looking grin on his face. He looked as though he was enjoying the torment he was giving the poor little fox as he gained up on him.
What torment? What's he doing to torment the fox? So far, he hasn't actually done anything to Tails. Also, don't tell me it's a deranged grin on his face. Just say he's fucking grinning. If it's actually scary, it'll appear deranged in our minds. You don't need to tell us it's the most deranged looking grin. Oh, fuck you. Don't tell me what's the most deranged. I'll make that decision on my own, you fucking cuck.
Suddenly,
trash.
When Tails tripped, in parentheses, another cutscene, the music stopped, and Sonic vanished. Tails laid there and started crying for 15 seconds.
Well, is he crying or is he not?
The scene was rather upsetting to watch. Oh my fucking god. And I kinda teared up myself.
Well, aren't you just a little pussy?
But then, Sonic appeared right in front of Tails, and Tails looked up in horror.
Nani?
Blood started to come down those blackened eyes of Sonic's as a grin slowly grew from his face. And he looked down at the horrified fox. I could do nothing but watch.
Why aren't you just a cuck?
Just in a split second, Sonic, there should be a comma there, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black.
Oh my fucking word.
There was a loud, screeching noise that only lasted 5 seconds. The text returned, only this time it said, "You're too slow. Wanna try again?" And then that god-awful laugh came with it.
First of all, just is a waste of word economy. Second of all, yes, there should be a comma there. Third of all, loud screeching noise? Why not just say a loud screech? Seriously.
You know, I'm just going to do a public service announcement to the audience. There's a great thing to have called Grammarly. If you find yourself writing like this, get Grammarly. It'll help tremendously. I was so shocked by what had happened. Ellipses. Did Sonic murder Tails? You tell me, writer.
I don't even know.
No.
The screen
He couldn't.
just faded to black.
No. He couldn't have. Ellipses. He... Why is that capitalized? He and Tails are supposed to be best friends, right? Yeah, sure, in this fan fiction that I'm writing. Why did Sonic do that to him?
For the glory of Satan, of course.
I shook the shock off as I was brought back to the character select.
Talk about alliteration.
The save file that had Tails was different. Tails was no longer in the box itself, but in the TV screen itself.
Stop using the same word repeatedly.
Which was flickering with that red static. Tails' expression scared me. Wimp. His eyes were black and bleeding. You talk about repeating words, here you go.
Yeah.
His orange fur had gone black, and he had an expression of anguish on his face. Trying... Get rid of that capital letter if you're gonna have a comma there. To ignore it, I picked Knuckles next.
The comma should be a period, and there should be trying to ignore it, comma.
Yep.
I picked Knuckles next.
The laugh came again, and the screen cut to black again. We get it. This is how the thing works. Stop. And stayed there for another 10 seconds. This time, the level said, "You can't run." I was really freaked out by now. This guy just keeps repeating himself over and over.
I'm not gonna take the game out and just fucking not play it ever again.
I couldn't really tell if this was a glitch or a hack.
It's Satan.
So remember a few paragraphs ago when he was absolutely convinced that it was a hacked game?
Yep.
Or some kind of sick, twisted joke. Ellipses. Or anything, really. But despite my fear of what happened next, I kept playing. That sentence doesn't make sense. He's predicting the future.
Ridiculous.
Though, making wild assumptions seems to be a common occurrence with this guy. The next level looked much different. It had the ground of the Scrap Brain Zone, but the sky background looked like the main menu. It had the reddish, cloudy sky. He described something, but it just went right over my head, and I completely missed it.
Yep.
But it was the music that creeped me out the most. Fucking Christ. It sounded like... What is that?
I don't even know. Gygas?
Gygas?
I'm assuming something like that.
Gygus theme right after you beat Pokey in Earthbound. I also noticed that Knuckles looked afraid, just like Tails did. Not as much, more rather, that's not right. He looked a little unnerved. He broke the fourth wall, just like Tails, and looked as if he wasn't sure about what was going on. But I made him move anyway, because I'm a giant dick.
Apparently.
He ran down the straight pathway in this dark level. And as he did, the screen started to flicker red static a couple times, and then that maddening laugh came again.
Well, was it flickering or was it not? How did it start to flicker? Is it flickering or it's not? Fucking cunt.
Then after a few seconds of running, I noticed with a D, several bloodstains on the metallic ground. I felt a growing sense of fear again. This guy is phasing in and out of whether he's afraid or not. It's like he can't even decide. Thinking something horrible is gonna happen to Knuckles. Stop with the slang, alright?
Stop telling us and just show us. Like, fuck. If you're so afraid, why are you still fucking playing?
He looked nauseated walking down this blood-stained road.
I would be too if I was a part of this story.
But I still kept him going, but not for the same reasons that the author is intending.
Yeah.
Suddenly, as Knuckles ran...
Fucking adverbs.
It will get worse. Sonic appeared right in front of him with those black and red eyes, and then red static appeared again, and static vanished, showing nothing but black screen with text saying, "This fucking shit again." Screenshot on the screen. Found you. I was now scared. Sonic found Knuckles already? What was going on? Anyway, red static came again, and then I was back to the level. Knuckles looked like he was panicking, and Sonic was nowhere to be found. And this time, that high-pitched squealing from Silent Hill 1's final boss was playing.
Fucking what?
Fuck you. First off, fuck you for including Silent Hill in your piece of shit story. How dare you?
Just fucking stupid. Once again.
Yep.
Like, what is that? What does that sound like? I have no idea.
Was this some kind of boss battle with Sonic? I hope to God it wasn't, honestly.
Oh, good thing I didn't fucking ask.
Suddenly,
Fucking Christ.
Sonic appeared right behind Knuckles in what appeared to be pixelated black smoke. I made Knuckles...
Or was it not black smoke?
I made Knuckles turn and then punch Sonic. I'm just going to say this right now. This guy is such a huge fan of the Sonic games. In the classic Sonic games, Knuckles can't punch. Just throwing that out there.
Did not know that.
But Sonic vanished in black pixelated smoke before I could even land a hit. That terrible laugh went off again. Then Sonic appeared behind Knuckles again. And then I made him punch again, and Sonic vanished again.
Nani? Impossible!
Knuckles was panicking even more, and even I felt like I was going crazy. Sonic was practically playing with us. He was playing us.
Adverbs, please stop. He either was playing with you or he wasn't. Practically has no business being there.
He was playing a sick, twisted little mind game with me and Knuckles. We get it!
It's time to take the disc out, cuck.
Another cutscene played as Knuckled.
Who dat?
It's Knuckles' brother, Knuckled.
New game, who dis?
He's in the past tense. Fell to his knees and clutched his head.
Gay.
And clutched his head, sobbing. I felt his agony. No, you didn't. Sonic was actually driving us both crazy. Fucking Christ.
Yeah, okay, kid.
And then, in a split second, Sonic lunged at Knuckles. And the screen went black, with another distorted screeching noise that lasted for at least 3 seconds.
Oh my god, why?
Another text appeared. So many souls to play with, so little time. Would you agree?
No.
What?
Apparently,
What
has
the
all the
hell?
time in the world because this kid doesn't know how to take the disc out of his computer, no matter how scared he gets.
What the hell? Just what is going on? Stop asking me.
I don't know. Maybe reread that letter now.
I started to think Sonic was actually trying to talk to me through the game, but I was too scared to think that.
Fuck you. A scared mind is an irrational mind, and an irrational mind can easily come to that conclusion. Fuck you, kid.
I was brought back to the main menu, and this time the second file box had Knuckles in the TV screen. His red fur had darkened to a reddish gray, his dreadlocks were dripping with blood, and his eyes were black and bleeding too. And he had a look of sadness on his face. I began to think that those were the actual characters trapped in those TV screens on the save files, but I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. He said wanna believe it, but I corrected it for him because it's just too stupid for me to even comprehend. So I shut off the game and took a break.
Holy shit, the first intelligent thing you've done in this entire story so far.
Now let me tell you why it wasn't.
Yep. He didn't destroy the disc, that's why.
Yep. I took a nap.
Weak.
Wish I hadn't. This guy has completely stopped trying to be grammatically correct because of this shit. I took a nap. Wish I hadn't. 'Cause I then began to have the most disturbing nightmare.
Did you or did you not? Try describe a dream starting for me. Go on. Yeah. Please enlighten me. What is it like for a dream to start but not actually happen? Because I would love to know. Here's a hint. It doesn't work like that. It happens, or it doesn't. Because here's the thing. As soon as you go to explain something starting or beginning, it falls in the category of either not happening or happening. Think about it.
No, don't tell this author to think about anything, because this story was a result of that.
I want to fucking die.
I was in pitch black. Oh, is Vin Diesel there? Heard it was a great movie.
God, that movie was fantastic. Oh my god, I want to go watch Pitch Black now.
I was in pitch black darkness. Though I was under the light given off by a lamp that hung above my head. Oh, so you were in pitch black darkness, but you weren't. Fucking make up your mind. Thanks for wasting 5 seconds of my life.
Thanks for wasting all that word economy.
I could hear the cries of Knuckles and Tails nearby. They were saying stuff like, "Help us," and "Why did you give us to him?" and "Run away before he gets you too."
Here's my question.
Yeah.
There was only 3 characters presented as choices when he booted up this game. However, the kid that last played this game played it to the point that Sonic was coming for him. So how the fuck are the characters in the game even playable if they were already fucking murdered?
Because plot device.
Fuck you! Take your plot device? You know what? I'm gonna take the plot device, I'm gonna wipe my ass with it. Fucking stupid.
Their cries died out, as I then heard Sonic laugh. His laugh. ... It sounded a lot like the distorted Kefka laugh. Oh, fucking Christ, we get it!
Fucking God. Okay. You heard Sonic laugh. You don't need to say laugh again. You don't need the ellipses.
You don't need to tell us
the Kefka laugh. Who gives a fuck?
You don't need to tell us that it was the Kefka laugh. We already understand that it's the Kefka laugh when you first told us in the first goddamn place. Stop telling us that.
Just describe what the laugh sounds like, rather than referring to a whole nother franchise, to a specific character in that franchise. So fucking stupid.
You're a lot fun to play with, kid.
Oh, whoa, somebody call the fucking cops. Holy shit.
Just like your friend Kyle.
Oh my god.
Oh, it gets better, though he didn't last long.
Man.
It's even better with the fucking ellipses there, too.
Where's the fucking Catholic to defend this Sonic guy? Was that too on the nose? Is that too much? Did I go too far? Did I cross the line here?
No, you're perfectly fine.
Alright, cool.
I was scared and looked around.
My god, really? Are you?
Hold the fucking presses. And looking around for the source of the voice. Ellipses. Won't be long now until you join him and all my other friends.
Just put a fucking period there. Stop putting in ellipses. The sentence ended. There's no reason for the ellipses. It's not mysterious. It's not creating tension.
I saw him walking toward me, flickering in and out in several directions. Ellipses.
You don't need to tell us you saw him walking towards you. Just say, he walked towards me. Like, if you say that, alright, we can put it together that you can see him walking towards you, given by the fact that you're telling us that he's walking towards you. It's redundant and a waste of word economy. God.
You can't...
Stupid.
You can't run, kid. You're in my world now. Fucking Nightmare on Elm Street reference. Get that shit out of your story. Just like the others. Ellipses.
Who's they? What others?
When he grabbed me and I saw his bleeding, black and red-eyed, grinning face, I woke up with a fright.
Oh my fucking god, we did it. Here's the thing about character descriptions. You describe them once, and as long as they don't change, you don't need to re-describe them. Describing him every time he shows up is pointless. You're wasting words. Stop it. God damn. Holy shit.
I have good news and I have bad news. Which one do you want first?
Oh my god, what? Just
Good news is we're almost done with this.
Okay.
The bad news is it just keeps getting worse.
Oh god, kill me.
After a couple of hours, I decided to continue playing the game. Why?
Fucking why? Why would you do that?
I don't know why.
I'm absolutely terrified. Better scare the shit out of myself some more.
But I had to know. I had to figure out why this was happening. No, you don't. Stop lying to yourself.
Here's an idea. Instead of loading up the game, try a Google search. This seems safer. Better yet, do what the letter said. Get rid of it. Just a thought.
So I turned on the computer, turned on the game, and selected Robotnik next. I still thought that was wacky, playing as Robotnik. But anyway, the level title appeared again, and this time it said,
Oh my fucking word, you gotta be kidding me.
Sir, those are ellipses that doesn't say anything. Just say it had.
Yep.
Which I found really freaky. Oh my god, this guy is getting freaked out by 3 dots. I don't know about you, but I'm getting pissed off at him. This time, I was in some kind of hallway. Oh, for once, he actually used the right thing there. He said kind of instead of kinda.
I'm fucking terrified.
Didn't really look like it was from any of the classic Sonic games. Well, probably because it wasn't, because of your stupid fucking level descriptions. You're just adding random games into this. Though it has the pixelated style. The floor was shiny and checkered. The walls were dark purple, grayish purple. Finally, another color other than black and red. With animated candle lights, with a few dark blood stains here and there. And there was a dark red curtain, oh, there we go again, hanging above on the top part of the screen. Every 12 seconds or so, that red curtain sways very slowly, but whenever you're playing the game, you can barely see it move. So why the fuck mention it?
Fucking adverb. Second of all, who cares? I really don't care. Also, are you really timing the curtain swaying? Are you
This is
fucking
crucial.
serious?
This is a key detail.
Why do we care? Why does this matter? Is this in any way relevant?
Well, this is clearly a key detail that we can't miss.
From skimming ahead, this does not matter whatsoever.
Nope.
Let's see how many words you wasted with this sentence. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, hold on, 22, 23. 23 words you've wasted telling us this unimportant information. On top of that, they're not even 23 strong words. There's at least 2 or 3 adverbs in there on top of shit like very. What a fucking waste of a sentence. If you actually said this sentence to me while you were telling me this story, and this sentence never mattered, I would make you carry a plant to replace the oxygen you wasted. That's the equivalent to what you're doing here. You're wasting oxygen, but instead you're wasting my time. Because now I have to sit here and rant so you, the viewers, can understand why this is a total fucking waste of words. Let me tell you this. I have had, time and time again through my program, have had to written, fully fleshed out, start to finish stories within a span of anywhere between 1,000 words to 100 words. And when I say every fucking word matters, I mean every fucking word. Okay? If you go to turn in, and when somebody tells you, I want 100 words, and you go to turn into an assignment that's 101 words, guess who's getting a deduction? And not a small one. I'm not talking about like a 1-point deduction for being over. Like, oh, you missed the point of the assignment. Here's a 50. Every word matters. You're a word over, you have to find somewhere where you have to take a word out. And if you've actually been like trying to focus on your word economy the entire time, that is fucking hard. You may have to restructure an entire sentence just to cut out one word. So when I sit here and I see these people go in here, and they have these 20-something word nonsensical sentences that don't matter shit to the story, yeah, I'm losing my shit. I am screaming internally. If they were put on an assignment with a word count cap, they wouldn't survive. They would fail. They would fall apart. They would not know what to do. It's weak. Weak-ass writing.
The music was rather freaky.
Did I fucking ask for your fucking opinion?
It sounded like a pixelated version.
Music can't be pixelated. Also, don't you fucking dare reference something else, I swear to fuck. But I've skimmed ahead, so I already know he is going to. But that does not settle the rage that is growing inside of me.
Of the Battle with the Red Queen song from American McGee's Alice.
What is that? What does that sound like? I don't know. It sounds like the song from McGee's Alice. Whatever the fuck that is. Brilliant. I know just as much about this song at the beginning of the sentence as I do at the end of the sentence. Thanks. The scene's really coming together in my head. I feel like I'm there.
Except it sounded just a tidbit off. Like it was playing slowly.
Was it or was it not? Also adverb.
Though it wasn't that really noticeable.
Bullshit! It was noticeable or it wasn't. You're calling it out. Was it really that? Was it not noticeable if you just called it out as being weird? Get your shit together. Because clearly it was.
Robotnik didn't look entirely nervous like Tails and Knuckles did. But he did have a suspicious look on his face, as if he was just a bit paranoid.
What was suspicious about the look? How do we know it's paranoia? Are you a fucking mind reader?
Because his mustache.
That's a lot more interesting story. This kid is fucking psychic and can like read the minds of video game characters. Significantly more interesting story.
He did a little animation when I just left him standing. He turns.
Yeah, we call that.
Turned his head to the left and then to the right, at least twice, and then shrugs at me.
Did I ask?
Shrugged. As if he has no idea where he was or what was going on.
Well, that's rather presumptuous of you. Also, I'm getting really tired of seeing the word just. It's a garbage word that doesn't do anything whenever this guy uses it.
Even though I was...
Nothing. You could take just out, and the meaning of the sentence would still be the same.
Even though I was scared out of my mind about what was gonna happen. This fucking writing.
You didn't
I had
tell me that it was about what was going to happen. Just say you're scared out of your mind. That's all you need to say. We're wasting words.
I had Robotnik continue onward.
You monster.
He did his usual running animation. I love this. In parentheses. You know.
No, I don't.
When you've beaten him at the end of a classic Sonic game and you chase him.
What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, you know, that thing I never did. Because I never played a classic Sonic game.
God.
You menial fuck. As we continued... Excuse me. As we continued going through the hallway. Then I stopped at a long flight of stairs leading downward. Now I was nervous.
Oh, just now you're getting nervous? You weren't nervous at all before. It's just now that this is happening. Yeah, okay.
Even Robotnik seemed unsure of himself, though I pressed onward.
How do you know? Are you a fucking mind reader? Fuck you, kid!
As I led Robotnik down the stairs, I noticed that the walls have gotten darker and more reddish. The red torches are now an eerie blue.
See, the better way to phrase that would have been, I noticed that the walls were growing darker and more red. Or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's like talking about a gradient effect.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's slowly changing in color. Like this, it's just like the walls have gotten darker and more reddish. Like it suddenly just happened. Why not just actually describe it as doing that over time rather than just... Oh, now they're dark and red.
Then...
Good description.
Then we landed onto another hallway. How do you land on a hallway? Did you jump out of an elevator?
I don't know. I don't even know.
This one was longer than the last one. Fucking Christ. Or at least it felt like it.
Why
and then we headed
in parentheses.
It doesn't. And then we headed down another flight of stairs down. This one was much longer. It took at least 1 full minute. Fucking Christ.
Who cares? Oh my god.
This entire paragraph was pointless.
Yep.
And then I heard that horrid Kefka laugh again. And then the music slowly faded until it was quiet. As it did, the walls turned more dark red and the torches were a black flame now.
I really wish you'd stop referring to it as the Kefka laugh.
Yeah.
It's really obnoxious because it's just... It doesn't do anything. It just does not do anything. If you don't know who Kefka is, it's just like... It just sounds like a generic laugh or nothing. Because... If you don't know who Kefka is, or you've never heard that soundbite, you have no idea what's supposed to go in there.
When Robotnik landed onto the third hallway, I noticed he now looked really creeped out, though he tried to hide it. I couldn't blame him. I was scared too.
Once again, are you a fucking mind reader? What is he doing to make you think this? What actions is he taking? What faces is he making? You know, what's giving you this information? How do you know he's trying to hide it? How do you know he's actually creeped out? You're just telling us this information with no context, even though you're telling us a story where you can easily give us context.
Suddenly,
oh my fucking word.
Sonic popped right in front of Robotnik, the same way he did Knuckles, and I'm just rereading that sentence over and over again, and it is highly inappropriate.
Do you reach out and touch him the same way too?
And then red static. I guess red static is a person now.
Yeah.
Because Sonic is just going to town. The red static lasted for about 15 seconds. Well, this just improves the entire story, thinking that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then it showed me a most unpleasant image.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Just let me decide for myself, you know? Don't tell me what to think. Fuck you, kid.
Oh wow, this might actually be an appropriate use of the word. The image showed a hyper-realistic of Sonic.
Right word. Bad sentence structure. Missing words.
Just as I praise him for the one good thing that he actually did.
Immediately fucked it up.
Yep.
Immediately.
I swear that wasn't planned in any way. Of Sonic, standing in the darkness where you can only see his face while his head and torso faded into black. And when I say hyper-realistic, I mean he looked so real you could actually see the lines in his blue fur as if you could actually feel the fur if you touched the screen.
You want to talk about wasting words? The redundancy in this paragraph is insane. First of all, he goes on this whole thing about the image showed hyper-realistic Sonic standing in the darkness where you can only see his face. You could have saved so much time of just saying Sonic is surrounded in darkness except for his face, or some equivalent of that, where you're only using a handful of words. And then he goes on to explain while his head and torso faded into black. Like, doing what I just explained, you would cut that entire sentence down to a handful of words. And then this whole, and when I say hyper-realistic, unnecessary, trash, get it out of here. You just wasted 6 words. 6 or 5 words, depending on how you count hyper-realistic.
Hyper-realistic is technically one word.
Yeah, technically speaking. And then going, I mean, like, he looked so real, you could see the lines in his fur, as if you could actually... No, cut that shit out. Just be like, it looked as though you could touch the fur, or something like that. You know, it doesn't have... You don't have to make it sound super complicated, or act like you're trying to convince us. Just describe it. You don't need to convince me as long as you describe it well. But no, fuck you. You're describing it so poorly. I just want to sit here and just give the screen the finger.
His face. Oh, God.
Not here.
He had the most horrifying smile I had ever seen.
Bullshit.
And that's saying something, considering I saw that image at the start of the game.
Fuck you. Everything has been the most horrifying, or the most weirdest, or the most frightening, all the way up to this point. So fuck you.
His eyes are wide and black, and once again crying blood.
Fucking God, you don't need to keep saying it. We get it. We know. We were there. You told us 50 other times. You don't have to keep repeating it. We get it, for fuck's sake.
Which also looked hyper-realistic.
I did not fucking ask.
And there were 2 small glowing red dots.
God.
And those black eyes staring right at me.
I could have written a story with the number of times he has fucking kept saying this. I could total up the word count of every time he's repeated what Sonic looks like and write a significantly better story with an equivalent word count. Just based off of the number of words used in Sonic descriptions. And nothing else.
As if staring into my mind. His grin was wide and demonic. It literally stretched to the sides of his face like a
Cheshire cat. It's
Cheshire cat.
Alice in Wonderland reference.
Fuck you! Get that out of your shitty story.
Yep. Also,
Except
don't use the word literally. People use the word literally so fucking much, and they generally use it wrong. It's probably fine here, because it probably actually legitimately means literally, as in the mouth was actually going across the entirety of his face. So it's probably fine here. However, people use literally so much, and incorrectly, to the point where very early on in my program, I had a writing assignment where we had to, I think it was called, the assignment was called I Literally Died. And what we all had to do is we had to write a 150-word story of somebody who made, or a group of people who lived in a world where they had said literally so many times that a spirit got fed up, and the next time they say literally, they get punished for it. And so in 150 words, we had to write the story of their punishment. So we had people who were like, I literally died. And then the girl would, like, start fucking choking to death. Just out of nowhere. No explanation. Or we had people who were like, I literally was pissing myself, or shit like that, and they would just like start wetting themselves, doing this, doing that, and it would just start literally happening to them.
except Sonic had fangs. Very sharp fangs.
Fuck you, don't use very. There's so many better ways to explain this than the word very.
Much like the werehog's teeth.
Fuck you. Just fuck you.
Except more vicious looking, somewhat yellowish, and from the look of it, he had stains of blood and small bits of flesh on his lips and fangs as if he ate some animal.
What makes it look more vicious? More vicious looking tells me nothing. I don't know what to picture in my mind. Also, he had stains of blood. He had blood stains. You wasted a word.
I stared at that gruesome image for a good 30 seconds.
I'm glad you timed it.
Never taking my eyes off of it. I felt as if he was actually looking at me. You said that in the last.
There's also so many more. There's so much better ways and more dramatic, effective ways of conveying the same thing. Like
smiling at me. ... That face. It just took 10 seconds for it to etch itself into my brain for good.
First of all, ellipses. Second of all, just. Third of all, I'm glad you timed that again.
Then the screen flickered with red static again 3 times. And on the 3rd time, I heard the Kafka laugh, except this time, it sounded distorted, demonic even. ... So
fucking stupid. Also, it sounded like... And instead of saying except this time, just say it was distorted and demonic. Like, that sounds significantly better than except this time it sounded distorted, demonic even. Like, it's fucking bad.
It went back to the image again. Except this time, there was the text again, though it was messed up. But it was pretty much one of the most horrifying things I looked at since I had this game. ...
Drop both instances of again. I'm getting tired of hearing the word again, and I'm getting tired of hearing the word but. Just describe what it's like. Don't say it's like this, but this. Don't do that. Just describe it. If you have to put but in there, you're doing it wrong. Because then it's like you're putting one image in somebody's head and then trying to scribble over it. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. Just describe what it looks like in its entirety. Don't give us one image and then try to scribble on it. That's rude.
I am God!
No, you're not.
That was one of the most horrifying things he ever seen. He must be an atheist.
No, my lack of faith is crumbling all around me.
It was when I read that message while looking at Sonic, when it hit me. I realized right there and then.
Well, that's kind of what when it hit me means, so thanks, I guess, for wasting another fucking 6 words.
This Sonic was a monster.
You don't say.
A pure, evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented monster. ...
Stupid.
And all of his victims, including Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and possibly Kyle, are just his little toys.
Gay?
And the game is the very gateway into his chaotic, nightmarish world, and the very hell his victims are trapped in.
So how the hell did this kid manage to piece that together after all this time of having no clue of what's going on?
He's a wizard, Harry.
Because he also made a lot of jumps right there. He went from... Because we went from, oh man, this disc is kind of fucked up, to, oh, well, I guess Evil Sonic is like God or some shit, I guess. Like, what? I don't... Like, that's one hell of a jump. Because not only did he finally come to terms with, oh, this disc is probably possessed or some shit, he just skipped all of that and went straight to, oh no, this is a god. Like, yeah, totally, absolutely.
Suddenly.
Oh my fucking word.
In an actual split second.
As opposed to a fake split second?
I screamed as Sonic lunged at the screen, screeching loudly with his mouth wide open.
Adverb.
To an unnatural...
Do you ever hear somebody screech quietly? Does the screech have to be described as loud? It's a screech. It comes with the territory.
To an unnatural length, revealing nothing but a literally spiraling abyss of pure darkness before the red static came again.
Literally is completely unnecessary.
This time, much louder and distorted. So loud that it hurted my ears.
This hurted my soul.
I yelled and grabbed my ears as the red static screeched Static and Screech? Wow. For a good
Who's
7
screeching at this
seconds.
point? Is it Sonic? Is it the static? Who's screeching? Make up your mind.
We're almost done with this. Then it stopped. And showed nothing but black screen.
The horror.
As I sat there, staring at the black screen. Fucking hell. One last text came up. Ready for round 2, Tom?
Who's Tom? Also, why is round capitalized?
That's a good point. We never actually knew what the name of the protagonist was, did?
Suddenly, the drama with that text has been swiftly dwindled because who the fuck is Tom? The protagonist could be Kevin, as far as I know. Or Jake from State Farm. I don't know.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm? State Farm.
Khakis?
The Kefka laugh, now sounding more clear, as if Sonic was right behind me.
Clearer. You wasted a word. Or you could have just said clearer.
Played again, 3 times, as I looked at that text in shock and confusion. Then I got booted back to the main menu, and this time, the third save file had a TV image of Robotnik in the same tormented state as Tails and Knuckles.
What the fuck you mean by TV image?
Who knows?
Get that out of there. It's not necessary. Just leave it as image. Another wasted word.
Get that semicolon out of there. Robotnik's skin turned a dull gray. His mustache drooped and had blackened. His glasses broke and blood is coming from them, and he had a mere dead-like expression on his face.
What the fuck does that look like?
I don't know.
Also, is it really a mere dead-like expression? Do you
No.
think somebody could look merely dead? Oh, he's just looking a little dead today. Just a little bit.
Well, I know I'm a little dead inside after reading this, so...
It's like, fuck you, get that out of here. Also, don't tell me it's a dead-like expression. Tell me what the expression looks like. Fuck you, kid.
I looked at Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik, and I cried a bit.
Fucking pussy.
I pitied them for the agony they're going through. They were forever trapped within the game. They are not even real.
Get shit on.
Forever tormented by that horrid hedgehog. And always will be.
Unless you smash the disc, like the note told you at the beginning of the story.
Fucking cunt.
Not that that's any of my business.
Then the computer shut itself off. I couldn't turn it back on, no matter what I did.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah, because you're too stupid to break the disc. I sat there for maybe 25 seconds.
Holy shit.
Horrified by what had just happened.
Is this kid OCD? Like, every time something happens, is he, like, check his stopwatch? Like...
Sonic is a very embodiment of evil. Fucking Christ, we're doing this again? He tortures... No, actually, you know what? It sounds better if he torches people. Who play his game in more ways than one. And then when he gets bored, he drags you into the game. Literally drags you to hell, where he can play with you always. As his toy.
That sounds like
What kind
a
of
jump.
toy?
What did happen to the main character here? I think this character is just assuming things.
Yeah. I can't get the game out of my computer. I think it's stuck in there. But at least I managed to turn it back on now.
Fucking word.
After I sat there for another 25 seconds. I heard a voice right behind me, like a whisper. Try to keep this interesting for me, Tom. I turned around to see where the voice came from, and what I saw made me scream. ... Sitting on my bed. ... Staring right at me. ... Was Crash Bandicoot.
Fucking gay.
Was a Sonic plushie, smiling with bloodstains under its eyes. That is it. That's the end of this shit story.
My very soul hurts.
Ah.
I am filled with a great rage. Oh man, that was ass. That was so much ass.
That was terrible. Like, alright, riddle me this. What part of that was actually supposed to be scary?
I don't know. I really just do not know.
Like we said before, the thing about horror is situation.
Oh
timing.
yeah, this was all a jump for shock value, like most of the creepypastas out there. Very few creepypastas actually manage to are actually aware of how you attain horror in a written format, and actually execute it well. Because just because you know how to, or you know that you need to get dread, most people can't execute it properly. And so you get shit like this where they don't even know that you need to be going for dread, and they go for shock value, like the gore and the blood stains and all of that. When they're going for black this and red that, it's a telltale sign that they're going for shock value. As soon as you start finding gore with like dismembered people and shit, shock value.
Mm-hmm.
No, they should be building dread. You know, and they, of course, they always go for like these hellish landscapes. You know, everything's black or everything's dead, and you know, like the rivers are running red with blood and this and that. And it's like that only works in some things, and it's like shit like Doom where that works, where it's very well aware of itself and it knows what it's doing because of that. Here, you're trying to be serious and you're not aware of it. And what you need to be doing is, if you really want to build dread in something like a Sonic horror story, everything should look the same. Like, everything should look like a normal Sonic game when you're doing something like this.
Yeah.
Because the real horror there, because I know why people write stories like this, because they want to take something like Sonic or some other childhood-like thing, and they want to corrupt its innocence. They may not be consciously aware that's what they're trying to do, but that's what they're really trying to do, is they're corrupting something that's perceived to be innocent.
Mm-hmm.
But the way you do that is you make it maintain its innocence on the surface level, and then you do small, subtle things that are indications of that corruption.
Right.
Until at the very end, the protagonist has the dawning realization of what's really going on.
Exactly. Like,
these people don't understand that's how that works.
Yeah, and I mean, for fuck's sake, this guy keeps using black and red as if that's supposed to be scary. Fucking my channel colors are black and red.
Horrifying.
The goddamn star that I use is black and red.
I get terrified every time I open up the channel. I just shit myself uncontrollably.
Are you kidding me? I get terrified every time I open up the video manager and see the view count.
Damn.
But, I mean, there's this fascination with corrupted games. Just, this game isn't acting right, therefore it's automatically scary. Like,
this game's hacked. Fucking God, man.
I mean,
shit.
That... I can't even think of an instance where that would work.
No, pulling off possessed technology is difficult. or curse technology or whatever. You have to be, there has to be very clear, defined rules to how it works. Whenever you do
Mm-hmm.
anything paranormal, you have to stop and you have to make up the rules. You have to
Right.
decide what the rules are for how it works. For example, when you see shit where it's like, oh, read this or you're gonna die in 7 days or whatever, or don't watch this VHS or you will die or whatever. There needs to be a clear set of rules about how that works. Um, if you watch this, a spirit comes out of your TV screen and like goes to kill you. Uh, there has to be rules for how it functions. You can't just run around willy nilly and be like, oh, this is happening, this is happening. So, no, we turn around and we do there's a video game one like this. There's like Sonic.exe where it's like you're playing the game and the game is like super fucked up, but it's like it's all happening in the game. There's no real threat until the very end where suddenly it's in the real world. What are the rules there? I'm
Yeah.
not telling you to, tell us all the rules, but you can't wait to the very end to pull the carpet out from under us and be like, oh no, this thing exists in the real world. If it exists in the game and it can enter the real world, we need to be able to like physically see that rather than just, oh, it's here in the real world now because reasons.
A good
Sonic
a
should have
good
come through the screen at us, and then
yeah.
that would have enforced the idea of you're not safe. He might be in the disc, but he can leave the disc. You're not safe. That's why you shouldn't put the disc in the computer because then that's his way in. That's his way into the real world.
Yeah. A good basic rule to have with these kinds of things. A good starting point is there is no way in hell that this game can know my name or my username or whatever. That's a good place to start, and you build from there. A good example of that is the in contrast to this, a very good creepypasta called Ben Drowned.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And I can say with absolute certainty that there is absolutely no way in hell that any game can know your name or your username or anything to the like. You know what? I guarantee you, the ending to that video will be creepier than that entire story that we just read. Not by much, because this is me we're talking about, but it still will be. Because the footage that I recorded for that episode, like I said, it was the game Sonic.exe. At the end of it, it has that thing ready for round 2, and then it has the person's name. Now, do you know that there is a program that you can use with some games where it will take the username that you're using to download the game and it will put it in the game. So it has that at the end of the game. It has ready for round 2 Bowie Hunter. And I'm just going to put that at the end of the video with absolutely no context.
Sounds good.
So, fuck you, writer. Situation. And I can do a far better job than you. Oh, man.
Well,
Just for those paranormal freaks out there who
also think people
jump at every
aware that
conspiracy theory.
you can have a horror story that doesn't have all this blood and gore and shit in it. Cause, there was a really good creepypasta out there that I read that it was all about this guy who is convinced that that there was this whole conspiracy going on, and that the government essentially was trying to mind chip people to control them. Uh, and at first, he was just kind of like, it was a very casual, like, oh yeah, I suppose that can be real or whatever. But then he like starts piecing things together in his head, and some of the stuff sounds like a stretch, and some of the stuff sounds like kind of scarily accurate at the same time. And it gets to the point where he locks himself in his apartment. The entire story takes place in his apartment. He never leaves. And it's almost entirely in front of his computer. And the story stretches over like 2 or 3 weeks of him staying in this apartment. And throughout the entirety of the story, it's a decently long story too. Throughout the entirety of it, you don't know if he's right or wrong, even as the reader. You have no idea whether or not you can believe a single word he's saying. Because of the way it's written, he sounds paranoid. It sounds like he's just losing his fucking mind. And then you get to the end of the story, and the story makes you believe that he was simply losing his mind. And then the last fucking sentence of the story completely flips it on his head and confirms everything he said throughout the entire story. Not saying everybody needs to be going for plot twists, but there's ways it works. And you don't have to have like these gruesome, action-packed stories for it to be really fucking good. Some of the best stories, almost hardly nothing happens. But stuff is happening because what is happening is like a mental struggle that we can see. And that because it's all in first person, we can hear and understand.
Yeah. But this shit that we just read is
trash.
Garbage.
That's the trash.
Yeah. There aren't even any comments on it.
No.
Thank God.
For this to actually like be good, you'd have to just completely scrap it.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
All right, we're done here.
Oh yeah, definitely. I want to die.